What's up, inflatable enthusiast here, and today I have the Gemmy 2023 7-foot tall air balloon inflatable caroling Mickey Mouse. So this was sold this past season at Lowe's as a Black Friday special inflatable. I think it was like 60, 70 bucks or something like that, along with a base fan Minion and also a base fan Snoopy. Lowe's usually gets Black Friday inflatables like that every year, and this year I thought was like really good. This was one of my favorite inflatables. We saw this very early last year, and I wanted it straight from the start. I thought it was a great inflatable. I thought it was, awesome that they were bringing back a classic design. As for most of you that don't know, this was originally a classic inflatable that was sold back in like 2003, I believe. The only difference is obviously, like, the Mickey face is a little bit different. They changed a few minor things, and the Noel stand wasn't on the classic inflatable. But they basically brought back a classic design, which I am all for. I think Gemmy needs to continue doing that for certain designs because, as these inflatables get older and older, they become harder and harder to find in good shape. And, a design like this, I don't think I've really ever seen this one go up for sale in good condition. The original one is actually pretty rare, so I'm really glad that Gemmy re-released this one. And, the Lowe's Black Friday this year I think was great. The Snoopy inflatable was pretty cool, and I love Peanuts and everything, and I love Snoopy inflatables, but it didn't really stand out to me. It wasn't too special. I did really love the Snoopy motorcycle, though, but I don't think I'm going to get it because I still like the classic one better than the newer re-released one. But, not to say it's definitely a great design, though, for sure. So, yeah, for this one, I got from a friend on Facebook in one of the Gemmy collector communities. He was selling it for, like, I think the same or maybe a little less than retail price. So I think I paid a great price for this. I already forget because it's already been like a month now. But I think I paid a great price for this. So yeah, without further ado, we'll get right into it. So the front of the box here, I love the box art on this thing. I think it's awesome. I have the picture of the inflatable here, a nice light blue and snowflake background with some gold sparkly ornaments. You got the Disney tag right here, some snow, tree branches with some berries on them. 7 feet tall, lights up. Got a classic Mickey right there, and it says Mickey Mouse Air Balloon Inflatable. Then the side here is the same, just, without the little Mickey in the corner, I guess. The back also looks amazing. I really love this box art. This is one of my favorite box arts from recent years. See the picture of the inflatable there. Disney tag again, Mickey Mouse Air Balloon Inflatable. And down here you got little clip art of Mickey, Minnie, and Pluto in a sleigh. And actually Chip and Dale right there. I just noticed that. I didn't see that originally. 2023 Gemmy Industries, and then the Lowe's tag down there, I guess, or barcode. And then the other side is the same. Top, Disney tag, and Mickey Mouse Air Balloon Inflatable. So yeah, the person who previously owned this did use it last year for the display, but they kept it in great shape. They cleaned it up for me before they sold it to me, which is great. So huge shout out to them. This is only my second Mickey inflatable I've ever owned, actually. I like Mickey Mouse and I like Disney inflatables. I'm not that big of a fan, though. But certain designs do stand out to me, particularly the classic ones. But typically, I'm not a big fan of newer Mickey or Disney inflatables, just because I don't think, it's one of those licenses like Nightmare Before Christmas, where I feel like it's just the same thing re-released over and over again every year. But like I said, this one really stood out to me. This one is really unique. So, I just had to get it. And it reminded me of the classic inflatable as well, so it's another reason why. The seller also wrapped up all the stakes individually with tethers, which is great, so they don't get into a tangled mess. The zipper is open. I believe this has a YEF 60 or YEF 80. I'll just check right now. Why not? Because the zipper's open, like I said. So, if I can get the fabric here. see if I can get the camera to focus. Yeah, YEF60, so not terrible. It is a 7-foot inflatable though, so I feel like the fan should be a little bit more powerful, but you know, it still inflates pretty good. So anyways, I'll go zip this up and we'll inflate it. Alrighty, so I got it all zipped up here. So the fan shouldn't be a huge deal. You know, Gemmy could have totally just put a large cheap fan on this and made it like a little bit smaller. So I'm glad we got a base fan. Even though it's a 60, I don't even care. It's just, I just want base fans on things nowadays. Gemmy does not do that enough anymore, especially on stuff this size. And yeah, it inflates very fast, actually. That probably took like 15 seconds. Get them adjusted a little bit here. And yeah, here he is. Again, a lovely design. I think they did a great job on this thing. It brings me right back to the original caroling Mickey design, which I think is a great inflatable as well. So yeah, as you can see, inflation, it does pretty good. His head bobbles a little bit, but I mean, he's Mickey Mouse. He has a giant head. So yeah, I guess we'll just get into the details. So he's wearing like a green jacket, you know, vest kind. No, not a vest. It's just he's wearing a green jacket. It has flaps that go down like that, and they come down the back. I do wish it was a separate piece of fabric, kind of like how they do with the Jack Skellington inflatables. I think that would have been cool, but you know, it's not a big deal. It still looks nice. He also has like a tan scarf that goes around, and his collar that goes around his head is also flipped up, which I think looks really good. He's holding a book for caroling, I guess you could say. It doesn't have any detail on it, but it's not a huge deal. Again, I think the original classic one had like music notes on like the front here or something like that. I don't know. I think it had some kind of printing on it. His face looks really good. I don't think it, you know, it just looks like typical Mickey. I think they did a good job. His mouth here also looks very good as well. The hat, he's just wearing a typical black top hat. One thing that they didn't add that they had on the original one was a holly leaf. I wish they put that just for a little extra touch. I have seen people sew their own onto this inflatable, and I might do that myself because I think it looks nice. And then you can see his 2 ears on either side. The Noel sign, a lot of people I know complained about this and said that it was unnecessary. I don't mind it. You know, I just think it adds a little extra to it. The letters inflate all right, not the best though, but they are attached at his arm and his feet, so they won't fall down or anything. And then they have like a little snow base down there. Mickey's shoes look great. He has 2 big buckles on the front of them, which I think are cool, you know, unique to this design. And yeah, the fan does a pretty good job at inflating him. I have no complaints at that. He gets up in about, like I said, 10-15 seconds. He inflates very tight. So yeah, anyways, we'll go look at it in the dark. And also for this inflatable, you have 3 tether loops, 2 on either side of Mickey underneath his arms. 1 right there, 1 right there, and then there's 1 at the bottom of the Noel sign right there, so that doesn't get twisted up and everything. Alrighty, here he is in the dark. He lights up a little better on camera as usual, but I don't think he lights up terrible. He only has 4 C7s though, unfortunately. I don't know why they chose to do this instead of doing the typical 6, but you have 1 in the E, 1 in the N, 1 in his body, and then 1 in his head. I wish they could have added 2 more, maybe even 3 more, 4 more. Like, he doesn't light up super great, unfortunately. I wish they put 1 in his legs, 1 in his body, because the 1 in his body is kind of like behind his book, and it's like in between his legs and his body, so it's not really, it doesn't really light up either very good. And then the 1 in his face lights his face up good, but you can't see his hat or his ears, but I mean, that's to be expected since they're both black. The Noel sign, you can read pretty well, because it's really small, but other than that, there is quite a few details missing when this thing is in the dark, unfortunately. But, you know, not a huge deal. Like I said, this thing retailed for like 60 bucks. I'm glad that they brought back a classic design. I think Gemmy needs to keep doing stuff like this because there's a lot of inflatables collectors want nowadays that most people like just can't get their hands on. Like I wish they just re-release an organ player again. I liked the Haunted Mansion one this past year, but I'm not a big fan of the Haunted Mansion, and I don't know a lot about it, so I personally didn't really care for it. But, you know, I think Gemmy needs to keep doing stuff like this, releasing classic inflatables, because for people like us that, you know, collect older inflatables and stuff like that, we know that they don't last as long, and most of them aren't in good shape anymore, and it's really, really hard to come across a classic inflatable in perfect shape nowadays. So for this design, I just preferred to get the newer one. I'm not doing a classic display for next year, so I can use whatever I want now. So I think this would work great, and I'm glad that I got it. So yeah, for people like that, I think this is a great inflatable. If you just want a classic looking design, but not have to worry about it wearing out, not have to worry about paying extremely high prices just because it's old, you know, on eBay and stuff like that. So yeah, this inflatable has its imperfections, but it means that Gemmy's going in the right direction. It's definitely a step in the right direction, and I think hopefully this next year, these upcoming years, they'll continue to release classic inflatables like this with a slightly newer twist, you know, for people who want classic inflatables but don't want to deal with what I just previously mentioned. So yeah, but anyways, that'll do it for this review. I'm the Inflatable Enthusiast, and I'll see you guys next time.